Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, iRacing fans from around the world, welcome to our monthly Race for Pad 266. That's right, it is the first Sunday of the month, and every first Sunday of the month we come out here to show our support for Mike Cuckoo Kaleni as the creator of PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Throughout the night tonight, we're going to see a lot of great-looking paint schemes. We've got five brand new PAD trucks out here tonight. Two of them brought to you by RK Paints and Designs. Three brought to you by John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints and Designs. Really cool stuff right there, ladies and gentlemen. Gary Whitmer Jr. out here tonight sporting the new paint job by John Hedrick and Over the Top Paints and Designs. Chris Hogue and Ronald Klein sporting out the new PAD edition from RK Paints and Designs. We're also going to hopefully give you a lot of great information out here tonight about PAD. You can check out PAD at padd.org. Great night for racing out here tonight on this 2.653 mile track. High track temp setting out at 100 degrees. Air temp sitting at 75. And we are driving the Chevy Silverados and the Toyota Tundras. Drivers are finishing up their qualifying times as we speak. Qualifying very important out here at Talladega. Taking a look at our qualifying order. Out there in front, we do have Mitchell Reeves with a 53.523 side by side with Joel Guy with a 53.530. Lynn McNeese sitting back in third position, 53.566. And John Rogers sitting back in fourth with a 53.598. Mark Jackson also representing Over the Top Paints and Designs in fifth position, 53.624. Sixth position belonging to Everett Lane. Raymond Rittenmeyer back in seventh. Donald Stewart in eighth. Wesley Whitfield with Southeast Motorsports in position 9. And one of our favorite sons here at KMA Racing, Travis Browder, bringing up position 10. Position 11 belonging to Dean Viney, side by side with Jack Watts. Gary Whitmer Jr. sitting in a pretty good position back in 13th position. Big shout out there to Mom and Dad Whitmer out there on the KMA TV chat. Danny Rudy. J.R. Johnson in 14th. Greg McClendon in position 15th. 16th position belonging to Danny Rudy. Ronald Klein in 17th, side by side with his teammate with RTK Motorsports. Chris Hogue, position 18. Nathan Karn, position 19. And Dustin Lee rounding out the top 20. Colin Bauer, Sean W. Brown, 21 and 22. Kenneth Gilbert, Andrew Williams, 23 and 24. Nick Reynolds back in 25th. Brian Pager, John Henderson, Kevin Scott Nelson, Lee Ryerson Jr. back in 30th. And rounding out the field is Mike Krapinski, sitting back in position 31. Very interesting starting position up here for Joel Guy. Out there in the outside lane, starting in position 2. We don't often see Joel Guy up there on that almighty qualifying podium, as we'll call it. But tonight, Joel Guy starting up in the front. So good luck there to Joel Guy. All right, we are getting ready to kick off 100 laps at Talladega. Great looking paint jobs, great looking track, great looking fans out there. 0-2 of Mitchell Reeves out there on that front line, going to start us off tonight. And right off the bat, showing his support for Nicky Kaleni. Angels Never Die. Supporting PAD. Side by side with the number 91 of Joel Guy, showing his support for PAD as well. Once a month, ladies and gentlemen, all these drivers do band together, and they put on the favorite color of Nicky Kaleni. We're going to talk a little bit more about Nicky Kaleni as the night does progress on forward, and hopefully bring some education to our fans leaving you with thoughts of people against distracted driving. Getting ready to kick off 100 laps tonight. Hang on to your hats. We will see 3 wide action tonight. Big shout out there to John Hedrick and Michelle McMaster Eisenhower. Becky Whitmer out there on that KMA TV chat. Big shout out to all the painters out here tonight. Drivers are looking good, wearing their Sunday best. And away we go, ladies and gentlemen. Mitchell Reeves waiting for that green flag all the way across the board. Inside lane getting a much stronger start than the outside. Joel Guy getting a boost from the number 21 to catch him back up there to Mitchell Reeves. Inside lane consisting of Mitchell Reeves, Glenn McNeese, Mark Jackson in the number 3, Nikki Clenny truck. Number 87, Raymond Rittenauer in 4th position. Outside lane, Joel Guy, Justin Rogers, the number 24 of Everett Lane, showing his support for Nikki as well. Donald Stewart, 4th truck on that outside lane, currently is in position 7. Drivers have to be set up tonight for the long haul mentality. Hopefully seeing green flag pit stops tonight. Fuel loaded about 30 to 32 laps. Talk a little bit about distracted driving. 3 categories of that distracted driving: visual, manual, and cognitive. Obviously, you got your visual, things that take your eyes off that road. Pretty girl, another police officer taking care of business, you always rubbernecking. Visual distractions, a form of distracted driving. We got the manual, playing with your radio, trying to eat your lunch. Actually see some of the ladies out there. I actually seen a dude doing it, putting on makeup. Again, manual distraction. And then cognitive. Driving when you're upset, driving when you're irritated. Anything that's keeping your mind. Visual, manual, and cognitive. 3 forms of distracted driving. Ladies and gentlemen, when you get into your vehicle, you've got to put that cell phone down. I don't care if you put it in your trunk, underneath the seat, in your glove box, put it underneath your rear end bottom, sit on it. But nonetheless, it cannot be in your hands. And my daughter's always telling me, Dad, I've got the hands-free. And that's great. That's all great. Your hands are there on the wheel. But again, looking back at that cognitive, I worry one day for her. She's going to be on that hands-free talking to somebody. And talking on the phone is another form of distracted driving. Great start out here tonight at Talladega. Got through the first 2 laps, 2 down, 98 to go. Always a good start out here. The boys did a great job last night, running 69 laps caution-free, and then ended up with a lot of 3 back-to-back cautions from 70 to 100. Len McNeese up to position 2. Mark Jackson on the rear end of Len McNeese, looking very sharp out there in the number 3. Over-the-top paints and designs being driven by Mark Jackson. Mark Jackson looking very good tonight in a brand new paint scheme brought to you by Over-the-top Paints and Designs. Mark Jackson up on that outer lane. Getting a push from Raymond Rittenauer in the number 87. Raymond Rittenauer showing his support for Pad as well. They're on the rear end of Raymond Rittenauer up there on the flat of the Chevy Silverado. You'll also see a lot of purple rims out here tonight. Looking at the number 74 of Wesley Whitfield showing his support with the Pad logo and the purple metallic, looking very sharp out there. Jack Watts, number 77, Southeast Motorsports, showing his support for Pad as well. Side-by-side double file action. Number 24, People Against Distracted Driving, Everett Fast Lane. Nice looking truck. Got the wings of Nikki up there onto the flat of the number 24. Donald Stewart showing his support with purple numbers. Good job, Donald Stewart. And J.R. Johnson Angels Never Die. Number 71 of Dean Viney showing his support tonight for Hershey's. Good stuff, Hershey's. Getting ready to come up onto the M&M man, Travis Browder. Travis Browder, a frequent racer with KMA Racing, knows his way around the 2.6 mile speedway as well as the 1.5s and the half a miles for that matter. Travis Browder, not, oh, Greg, we got trouble on the track. Trouble on that track. Caution will be out. Taking a look at this pair. Danny Rudy might have been the culprit on that, but time will tell. Trouble happening up front with the 21. Going to back up those cameras and get a look at the number 21. 21 being pushed on by the number 91 of Joel Guy. Joel Guy just with a slight bumper hook on the 21. No fault intended, but nonetheless, that's all it takes right there. 21 getting hooked, sliding up, coming back down, trying to do a good job, but unfortunately collecting up the number 6, the number 14, the number 21 involved in it. And there is that number 6 of Chris Hogue, looking very sharp, but having to take it into pit row early on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, first caution of the night coming out on lap 6. Honest mistake. These Chevy Silverados and these Toyota Tundras, they do plan to do bumper hooking. That's all it takes. That'll put Mark Jackson in a very good spot out there on the front, along with Mitchell Reeves. Pace car catching that field. Gives us a chance to take a closer look at some of these great looking paint jobs out here tonight. Mitchell Reeves in the Angels Never Die 02. Remembering Nikki Clenny. Mitchell Reeves opting to duck into pit row. Mark Jackson choosing to stay out. Alrighty, well, since Mark Jackson has stayed out, don't like to bug these drivers in pit row. That's a form of distracted pit row driving, but Mark Jackson out there pacing at a safe speed. So that'll give us a chance to talk to Mark Jackson very briefly. Mark Jackson, a huge supporter of Pad. How about it, Mark Jackson? How about it, Mark Jackson? You got a copy?
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Man, so far so good. We stayed out here in this number 3, hold this track position. It's a hard thing to come by. We sure hated to pit, sure hated to see the yellow come out there. We're just kind of 7 or 8 laps into this thing, but that's kind of the decision was to stay out and hold the track position, and hopefully. Hate to see yellows, but we might need a little help to get back on the same sequence as some of these other guys.
All right, well, I tell you what, you are looking like you are fully supportive of Pad. People against distracted driving in a brand new shiny paint job, remembering the number 22 of Nikki Clenny. Nice picture there of Nikki. Talk to us real quick about the paint job and your association with Pad.
Absolutely. Been racing with the Pad League for quite a while. Really good message to get out, you know. Stay alive, don't text and drive. People against distracted driving. You know, we got Nikki on the truck tonight. It's just a shame, you know, texting and driving kills more young lives than any other related automobile accident out there. Drinking and driving, all that kind of bad stuff, so. Proud to have her on a car, proud to represent Pad, KMA Racing, and hopefully we can keep this thing up front here and keep it out of trouble.
All righty, copy that. I got a lot of faith in you. Real quick, talk to me about the painter behind the truck.
Absolutely. My sponsor and my team, iRacing Paints and Designs, John Hedrick. Catch him on Facebook. Best painter on the planet in my book, all day.
All righty, you make sure you take care of that number 3 pad truck. Keep her clean, keep her mean, keep her up there, out of that green. Good luck to you, Mark Jackson.
Thank you, Scott. Love you guys.
Mark Jackson running with the Southeast Motorsports gentlemen tonight. Mitchell Reeves sitting in position 1. Drivers still are lined up single file. One more lap by. Time to grab Mitchell Reeves. How about it, Mitchell Reeves? How are you doing?
I got you.
All righty, very briefly before we get back to that start-finish line, talk to us real quick about the 02 pad truck.
Well, we're running back up here in 10th. We really was kind of trying to stay up front the whole time. That's really going to be our game plan the whole entire night, is to stay up front, to be in front of the wrecks and not have to avoid a wreck if there is another one. This is all about that's really not the main reason we're here. The main reason we're here is for Pat and for Nicky Cleany and Mike Cleany and everything they've brought to this country, actually, with Pat, people against distracted driving. So it's a great cause, but it'd be really cool to put this Nicky Cleany Chevrolet up in Victory Lane tonight. It's been a while since I've personally been in Victory Lane, and we're about 8 positions back from being where we want to be. So we're going to see what we can get done and try to do it for the Cleany family.
All righty, copy that. Now, I know you're involved with real-life racing within yourself. Your real-life fellow racers, do they know about PAD? Are you out there talking to those drivers about PAD?
Well, there's actually we haven't really discussed PAD a lot, but there is a lot of talk about just the distracted driving aspect. I do have a couple buddies that have lost some loved ones, that have actually had some incidents with loved ones and people they cared about due to distracted driving. It's definitely something that has affected a lot of people here, and if it hasn't affected you, it's affected a friend. And if you know somebody that's doing that while they're driving, just try to encourage them to put the phone down, because one thing that's really tough about racing in general and being in a racing family is you never know when your last day is with them, and you don't want your last day with your loved one to be because of somebody being distracted on their phone. So if we can prevent that one less cause of death, that will be that'll obviously help this whole entire country and help hopefully some loved ones and care ones we love about. So.
Alrighty, copy that. Talk to us real quick about this upcoming restart. Are you going to get in it, get back up there, or are you going to hang out and be safe?
We're definitely being aggressive tonight. We're going to try to get back up to the front and kind of be the ones in front of the wreck, like I was saying earlier, instead of trying to be in it. We're not going to make any over-aggressive moves. We're definitely going to make calculated decisions, but we're going to make aggressive decisions that I'm capable of making and hoping we can get up there safe and clean back to the front.
Alrighty, copy that. We're going to do a ride along with you in that gyro cam. Good luck to you, Mitchell Reeves.
Thank you. Southeast out.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to stay in car for this first restart of the night, ending our first caution of the night. A little bit of contact there with Joel Guy and a secondary driver. Drivers are allowed one backup vehicle tonight, so all drivers still out on that track, but Joel Guy has fallen to 1 lap down. Mark Jackson way up there in the distance. Drivers beginning to line up. Got to be very careful, very aware on these starts and restarts. Actually appears we may have one more time to go by. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we do have one more time by. Extended caution out here. Officials chose to take one more lap. While they are taking one more lap, we're going to give you a few facts here about distracted driving. 21% of all crashes, 1.1 million, involved people talking on cell phones, either with or without hand-free functionality. Now, remember I was talking earlier about my daughter's hands-free. Hands-free does not mean distraction-free. 3% of all crashes, 160,000, involved texting. Unfortunately, that is how our angel Nicky Cleany lost her life, but she was not the one doing the texting. She was in the back seat, had her seatbelt on, was a safe, careful passenger, but her best friend chose to do a little bit of texting behind the wheel during a ride one evening, and unfortunately cost Nikki her life, of course, the driver. Thank goodness the driver did walk away, but the driver was the one at fault, and Nikki was not the driver. In a study conducted by AAA, where cameras were installed in cars for 6 months at a time, they were able to capture 52 different teenagers for a total of 7,858 usable video clips. And the distracted driving, the biggest danger zone out there is for new drivers. You know, when you're 17, you're 18, you feel like you are invulnerable. Even at 21, you feel like you are invulnerable. But everybody is out there, and nobody is immune to it. I actually saw Grandma, not my grandmother, God rest her soul, but I did see a woman, I guess, to be about 70, 75, just driving along, texting on her phone. I don't get it, folks. And here we go, back to green flag racing, lap 11 of 189 to go. In-car camera with Mitchell Reeves. Staring at the rear end of the Angels Never Die. RTK Motorsports up on the high side showing his support for Nikki with the purple rims. Number 8 of Greg McClendon up on that high side. One wreck could end it all. Mitchell Reeves up to that high side. Coming down that backstretch, getting worked up to 194. 195. 195 miles per hour, holding steady at 187. Having to drop it down to keep from running over Ronald Klein. Mitchell Reeves all over the rear end of Ronald Klein. Gary Whitmer Jr. in the number 5, new addition by Over the Top Paints and Designs. Nikki Clenny Foundation. Very nice looking paint job there done by John Hedrick, side by side with the number 8 of Greg McClendon. I do believe that one there was done by John Hedrick. John Hedrick, a huge supporter of PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Mark Jackson up in that front line, side by side with the number 24 of Everett Lane. Everett Lane in position 2. Everett Lane showing his support for People Against Distracted Driving as well in that Silverado. Lap 14 of 186 to go in this very special monthly event. Brought to you by KMA Racing and PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. At the speeds these drivers are taken at 194 miles per hour. Speaking of speed, did you know that a car moving at 55 miles per hour will travel 100 yards, the length of the football field, in approximately 4 seconds? Think about how long it takes for you to look down and check out that text on the phone. Before you know it, you have just traveled the length of the football field. Number 74 and the number 87 side by side. Raymond Rittenauer started 7th, position 10. Double foul action. Hoping to see green flag pit stops out here tonight. Being in mind for that long haul, you're in a position right now on lap 15. Just ride. Being 27 laps out of a green flag fuel run. You know, that's what they did last night, folks. For 70 laps, they stayed double foul action. Had a great 70-lap run out there. 70 laps of caution-free racing, but after that it was go time. Those cautions did start pouring out. If you'd like to get a hold of some good-looking pad gear, go to padd.org. I do believe they have t-shirts. They've got wristbands. It'll also help support the cause. Donations accepted there at padd.org. Educate yourself. Get involved. Log in to PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Gary Whitmer Jr. up in New Jersey a couple of months ago going to a walk with PAD and actually met Mike Kaleni. Very special day there for Gary Whitmer. Also on that PAD site, we have a section for victim services. If you have been affected by distracted driving, been a victim of, or know someone who has been, or maybe you have actually made the mistake yourself, Three-wide action here with the number 76 and 77 and 02 making a move on that outside lane. Three-wide action. But do log in to padd.org, People Against Distracted Driving. Three-wide action still going on up there with Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves talked about wanting to get up there to the front. He is almost up there to the front. Getting a big boost from the number 87, I do believe. 87 of Raymond Rittenauer. Number 8, Greg McClendon in the middle, showing his support for PAD. Number 14, Colin Bauer. Florida State getting his hands dirty. Nice view there of the number 5. Nice view of all these trucks out here tonight. Everywhere we look, ladies and gentlemen, it is PAD, PAD, and more PAD, and that's the way it should be. Mark Jackson doing a great job up there on that high side. Back to the victim services. In 2012, PAD began its victim services, offering help and support to victims and survivors nationwide 24/7 at no charge. Call 234-738-3823 to speak with a victim advocate day or night. And again, you can find that on the PAD website there underneath. Victim services. A lot of information there about Nikki and Nikki's parents. A tragedy that could have been avoided, ladies and gentlemen, by putting down the cell phone. Now here in Illinois, nobody here in Illinois knows about PAD a whole lot except through what we do within iRacing. I've got several nieces and nephews, and I'm telling them all the time, PAD, PAD, and more PAD. First time I did it, they looked at me like, what is PAD? And we had to sit down and have a long conversation. But it is growing, ladies and gentlemen. PAD is growing, and you can help us grow by talking to your neighbors, spreading the word about PAD. Looking at Lynn McNeese, position 15, Little Smoky, side by side with the number 54 of Nick Reynolds. Number 4 of Andrew Williams in the lows. Nick Reynolds running with Southeast Motorsports. Number 65 of Sean Brown driving the Chevy Silverado tonight. Side by side with the Angels Never Die, number 37. Lap 22 of 100. Beautiful truck there being driven by the number 5, Gary Whitmer. Drivers need to keep a pretty good distance off of that yellow line. Not as bad as Daytona. Nonetheless, looking at Gary Whitmer keeping a wide berth off of that yellow line. Drivers up in front, not so much. Looking at Donald Stewart rocking down onto that apron. You don't want to get real close across that yellow line. Purple rims as far as the eye can see. And the thing about purple, that was the favorite color of Nikki Kaleni. Her favorite racing number was 22. Significant information right there. Donald Stewart sporting a little bit of damage on the rear end of the Boston Red Sox. Mark Jackson up on that front line. Mitchell Reeves pushing on Mark Jackson. Raymond Rittenauer pushing on Mitchell Reeves. Colin Bauer making his way to the front, leading his first lap. Mitchell Reeves leading 11, Greg leading 2. Mark Jackson leading 11, actually. So far, Mark Jackson has led the most laps out here. Got to be that pad paint job on that Chevy Silverado. Number 76 of Ronald Klein showing his support on that outside lane with the purple rims. Looking very sharp out there. Gotta love the metallic. A little bit of eye candy for you there, folks. Make sure you join us next week as we do head on to week 8 of our KMA racing season. Going to Las Vegas. Ronald Klein came up pretty fast onto the rear end of the MSTV. Raymond Rittenauer, number 87. Bean Biney holding very steady on that inside lane. Gary Whitmer holding very steady, looking very sharp. Big shout out there to Becky Whitmer. Becky Whitmer making a pad quilt. I was talking last night about the pad quilt Becky is making. Said she wasn't sure what to do with it. I told her, I'll take it. I'll take it in a heartbeat. Drivers definitely settling down. Early caution on lap 6, 20 laps. 26 of 100 in the books. Drivers will be looking at a pit stop along about lap 20. Actually be up there about 31, 32. A little bit more than that. About 38. So they've still got about 12 laps of patience once they get in and out pit row. So the pit row situation is what makes you and breaks you, and it splits up the boys from the men. That's what happened last night. And that caution did finally come out along there about lap 69. A lot of drivers were glad to have that caution back, getting their wave by, and lucky dog. But tonight I do want to see caution-free racing from here on out. Huge field out here tonight. A lot of drivers coming out to show their support for pad, people against distracted driving. Big shout out there to Michelle and Kristen and Becky. John Hedrick showing information out there about pad. Here in Illinois, they are pretty strict about it. Hands-free only. If they see you with your phone in your hand, for whatever reason, they will pull you over. Dustin Lee in 17th position in the number 32 on that outside lane. Side by side with Lynn McNeese. Number 26 of Nathan Karn. Have not seen Nathan for quite a while. Looking good out there in the Pepsi. Travis Browder has dropped back to position 20 in the number 51. M&M showing his support for Pad as well. Leaders are going to be approaching lap traffic very soon. Lee Ryerson in the number 20 in the Stop Bowling, side by side with the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. John Henderson in position 23. Justin Rogers flying solo, position 24. That's not a good thing, folks. Being solo out here on this 2.66 mile speedway can get you runned over and get you in a lot of trouble. Taking a quick look at our running order. Colin Bauer, Mitchell Reeves, Everett Lane, Mark Jackson, Raymond Rittenauer, our top 5. Travis Browder in position 20, 1.5 seconds back. Joel Guy, Danny Rudy, Brian Pager, 1 lap down. Drivers doing a great job of staying double file. Leaders coming up on the slower traffic of Danny Rudy and Joel Guy. As a courtesy, we do ask slower drivers to stay high. Great job. That is actually not Joel Guy. That is the number 7 of Brian Pager. As Danny and Brian stay high. Nice, guys, but the number 16 of Danny Rudy into that wall. Danny Rudy taking a bite out of that wall. 1 lap down, and again, that's going to slow him down. Doing a great job keeping it up and out of the way, though, but unfortunately does come into contact with that wall. Unfortunate incident, but only affecting himself. Driver's still running a very good pace and a very nice pack. Lynn McNeese in the number 84, 74 Wesley Whitfield, 37 J.R. Johnson. Gary Whitmer, position 19. Gary Whitmer on the tail end of Donald Stewart. Hanging on to that pack very securely. Does not want to get too close. You hear me talking a lot about being in the hornet's nest. Donald Stewart possibly thinking that that is the hornet's nest up ahead. Being very, very careful. If you'd like to get in your community to receive a Stay Alive, Don't Text and Drive, you can contact PAD, and they'll tell you how to get one established up in your community. Could be the sign that saves a life. Dustin Lee trying to lead his first lap of the night. Raymond Rittenauer leading 2. Coming up on slower traffic, double file. Slower traffic one more time, staying up onto that high side. That is the number 21 of Justin Rogers. Justin Rogers dangerously close to that wall. few tips out there, ladies and gentlemen, to keep you alive. Number one, most importantly, put the phone down. You don't need to turn it off. Just be responsible and use a PAD-approved cell phone application like Drive Beehive. Use a designated texter. Now there's an idea. I mean, you're driving up there to New York City, you're driving around St. Louis, Chicago. You got company with you there in the passenger seat. Give that phone to them. Let them take care of all those texts. Let them take care of the map quest. Designated texter. As important as a designated driver on a Friday night after you're leaving the bar scene. And of course, maintain your speeds, leave early, allowing yourself plenty of time to get to your destination. Many ways out there to stay alive. Driver's doing a great job out here tonight. Raymond Rittenauer leading his third lap. Mitchell Reeves leading 3 laps. Dustin Lee up there in the front leading 1. Significant damage there onto the rear end of the 02. Looking like he backed into a telephone pole. Lap 37 of 100, 63 to go. Should be seeing some green flag pit stops developing very soon. Onto the rear end of Sean Brown is the number 4. Andrew Rowdy Williams, giving the number 32 Dustin Lee all he's got. 65 keeping a very respectable distance off of 02 of Mitchell Reeves. Mitchell Reeves locked on solid to our race leader. Ed McVeese in the number 84, little old smoky Chevy Silverado. Side by side with the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. Looking a little bit scary up there in front, just about 3 wide action. Drivers possibly trying to begin to set up for those green flag pit stops that we should be seeing very soon. Got to be careful not to get trapped up on that outside lane. You notice nobody's up there using that high lane. I haven't seen a lot of 3 wide activity out here tonight. Still a huge field up here in the front pack. .14 drivers. Sean W. Brown going into pit row. Sean Brown in pit row. Solo though. Interesting. Very interesting. Yes, Sean Brown goes into pit row by himself. That's going to cost him. You do not want to be out here at Talladega by yourself. You need a partner. Len McNeese doing a great job out here tonight. Colin Bauer coming down in front of the number 84. Nick Reynolds heading off into pit row. Contact in pit row between the 37 and the number 4. The number 87 and the number 4. The number 87 into pit row. Contact with the number 4 of Andrew Williams. That's Andrew Williams and Raymond Rittenauer. Unfortunate breakout there for those two drivers. Dustin Lee out there on that track. John Henderson still out on that track, and green flag pit stops are beginning to develop. Lynn McNeese out on that front line with Colin Bauer and Travis Browder. Big shout out there to Chris Hogue on that KMA TV chat. More green flag pit stops. Lynn McNeese making his way into pit row along with Travis Browder. Lynn McNeese taking fuel, taking right sides. Taking left sides. Travis out, Kevin Scott Nelson out. Number 17 out, and away goes Lynn McNeese. Little bit Nathan Karn out there on that front line, leading his first lap. Nathan Karn taking his way into pit row. Nathan Karn in the Camping World Chevy Silverado Pepsi number 26. Good to see Nathan back out here after an extended vacation. Only one caution out here tonight. Travis Browder hooked up with the number 14 of Colin Bauer and the number 224 of Kevin Scott Nelson. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have had green flag pit stops, we're going to take a quick look at our running order, see how it all worked out. Nathan Karn still in first position, but caution is out. Alrighty, backing that up, taking a look at the number 21 into contact with the number 78, but not quite sure what happened with the number 78 of Donald Stewart. And as far as to why he was out there in the middle of the field, and right here we have it, ladies and gentlemen, taking a look at the 24 and the number 84 making slight contact. Take a look at the 84. Little Smoky and the number 24, Everett Lane. Slight contact. Spinning the number 24. And unfortunately, Lynn McNeese coming up into the number 78. 78 up into the wall and getting slammed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be our second caution of the night. That's going to mix everything up and stack these drivers back up. Nathan Karn certainly glad to see that caution, as he did go into pit row by himself with that caution. That's going to put him into a very good spot out here tonight. But now he has to decide if he's going to stay in or stay out. Second caution coming out on lap 44 of 100 in our monthly Race for Pad. People against distracted driving. Nathan Karn opting to stay out. Let's see if we can raise Nathan up on that microphone. How about it, Nathan Karn? Have you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Alrighty, you decided not to go into pit row right there on that second caution. You had an early pit, but you went in by yourself, so this caution actually came out into your favor.
Yeah, I got lucky with the yellow coming out right after I came out of the pits, because I didn't have a partner.
Alrighty, well, you're looking real good out here. Welcome back after an extended vacation. As you know, this is the Race for Pad. I know you're a younger person in the early 20s, and that's an age group that is really affected by PAD. Talk to us about your thoughts on PAD.
Well, I think it's a great cause. I know a lot of people in my age group tend to text and drive, and it's a really bad idea and can get you in a lot of trouble. So I tend to avoid it myself, and I think the PAD's doing a great thing in iRacing, trying to raise awareness for that.
Alrighty, we appreciate you being here. Talk to us about the attitude and the mentality down there on the track. Only 2 cautions on the speedway, not bad. But how are the drivers? We're not seeing a lot of 3 wide.
No, I think people are racing pretty smart so far. I was just kind of riding along, and a lot of other people are too. A lot of 2 wide. Just guys are riding it out, waiting until the end.
Alrighty, and real quick, talk to us about the paint job. I'm seeing you in a Pepsi Silverado.
Yeah, I actually just installed the game this week, and I haven't been on here in a couple of years, and I'm trying it back out.
Alrighty, well, good to have you back, brother, and good luck to you tonight.
Thanks.
Nathan Karn out there on that front line doing a really good job out here tonight. Jack Watts in the number 77. How about it, Jack Watts? Have you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, you're in a good spot right there, position 9. Talk to us about how your race is going.
So far, it's going pretty good. Seems like pretty clean, a lot of give and take. Just trying to hang back and bide our time.
Alrighty, you're looking very sharp out there in the, I guess that's electrical bolts on the Black Southeast Motorsport.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, and I'm glad to see you've got the PAD logos. I know you're a motorcycle kind of guy, so you're probably less prone to text and drive, but you're at a higher risk of those that do. So talk to us about your relationship and thoughts on PAD.
Yeah, I think PAD is a great idea. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, people don't even focus now. Shoot, I actually got ran off the road this morning riding my bike from a lady who was just gawking. She wasn't even on the phone. So when you're on the phone, that's even worse.
Alrighty, and how are the boys at Southeast Motorsports going to stick together and get to the winner of tonight's race?
We've been kind of planning on like what we're going to do, stuff like that here and there. One of our guys spun going into the pit road, took out another one guy that's hanging out with us. So hopefully we can keep it all together and just stay focused as a team.
Alrighty, good luck to you, and thank you for showing your support for People Against Distracted Driving.
No problem. Thank you, sir.
Jack Watts with Southeast Motorsports up to 8th position. Nathan Karn, Travis Browder, Colin Bauer, positions 1, 2, and 3. A lot of information out there at padd.org. Recently having their 5-year anniversary walk with PAD on April 15th. And that was the event that Gary Whitmer had traveled up there to join Mike Clenny in. Also involved with Musselman's Applesauce, Venturi Motorsports Race to Save Lives in the ARCA Racing Series. So PAD involved with, not only with iRacing, but also out there in the ARCA Racing Series with Musselman's Applesauce and Venturini Motorsports Race to Save Lives. Good stuff out there. Drivers are double file. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Colin Bauer in the number 14. Simonos. Nice. Nice little paint job right there. Travis Browder on that outside lane. M&M's and Pepsi. Good stuff out there on lap 47 of 100. Kristen Phillips out there on the KMA TV chat rooting on Mark Jackson. Becky Whitmer and Dad Whitmer rooting on Gary Whitmer. Mark Jackson in 6th. Gary Whitmer in 13th. Pace car is in. Taking lap 48 as we get back to green flag racing. Number 14 into the rear end of the number 26, giving him a boost. A little bit of a chrome horn maneuver right there. Trying to get Nathan moving on along on that inside lane. Travis and Kevin very familiar with one another on the outside lane, but as we talk to Nathan just fired up the rig today after a 2-year absence. Looking like he's been here the whole time. Nathan Karn out of Michigan. 14 tucked all over the rear end of that Chevy Silverado. On the roof of Travis Browder in the number 51, showing his Sport 4 pad, and over the top paints and designs. Mark Jackson, position 5, looking very sharp out there in the Nicky Clenny Silverado. Plenty of room out here on this 2.6 mile speedway. The drivers opting to keep it double file. In memory of Nicky Clenny on the rear end of Everett Lane in the number 24. Nice little bit of art there in the bed of the number 224. Beautiful picture there of Nicky. A little bit of damage there on the number 224 as well. Everett Lane side by side with the number 54 of Nick Reynolds, coming up onto the number 84 of Len McNeese, onto the rear end of Mark Jackson. Gary Whitmer Jr. down on that inside lane, pretty in purple. And the number 5, over the top paints and designs, Chevy Silverado. Be sure to check out Over the Top Paints and Designs on Facebook. Three wide action with Ronald Klein, Dean Viney, Jack Watts, Nick Reynolds trying to go up. Nick Reynolds coming back down. Ronald Klein thinking, make up your mind, brother. Almost into a 4-wide situation. Plenty of room there to go 4 wide. Ronald Klein onto the rear end of Nick Reynolds as Dustin Lee and Jack Watts looking up on that outside lane. Rear indeed, 3 wide action. Donald Stewart, Joel Guy, Mitchell Reeves, part of that 3 wide action as well. Nick Reynolds, Ronald Klein, Donald Stewart, Sean Brown, the Monkeys in the middle. They are approaching the front 6 drivers on this 3 wide steam train. Very steady, very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. Jack Watts leading that outside lane, being pushed on by the number 32. Big shout out there to Mama Patty and Kristen Phillips on that KMA TV chat. Mark Jackson up there in position 3. But right now we're glued to this 3 wide action. Ronald Klein out of that 3-wide action. They're going to be right back into it as Jack Watts and Dustin Lee press on. Nick Reynolds going up to that high lane. Going to hook up with his teammate, Jack Watts. Jack Watts going to get onto the rear end of the number 54, Nick Reynolds. Donald Stewart of the Boston Red Sox onto the rear end of the number 76. Sparks are flying. Jack Watts. Caution will come out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick look at what happened here. I do know that Jack Watts got into the wall a hair. Jack Watts into the wall, and the number 32 of Dustin Lee running over the number 77, Mitchell Reeves, into it as well. Jack Watts off the wall into the pathway of the number 74 of Wesley Whitfield, Mitchell Reeves. Well, I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, that was the largest majority part of the team of Southeast Motorsports. Not sure if Nick, but Jack into Dustin Lee, into Mitchell Reeves, into Wesley. Unfortunately, 4 Southeast Motorsports drivers right there caught up into the third caution of the night onto their own demise. Tough break there for Team Southeast. Very tough break out there for Team Southeast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll bring out our third caution of the night. 54 laps in, totaling out 100 laps. While we are under caution, folks, we are going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with you momentarily. Underneath our third caution of the night, Kevin Scott Nelson, Travis Browder, Mark Jackson, our top 3. Good job out there, too. Kevin, Travis, and Mark. Everett Lane in 4th. Colin Bauer, 5th. Donald Stewart, Sean Brown. Lee Ryerson, Lynn McNeese, J.R. Johnson. Nathan Karn doing a good job. Nick Reynolds at 11th. Ronald Klein sitting back in 18th position. Mitchell, Dustin, and Jack not faring too bad. 13th, 14th, and 15th. Gary Whitmer back in 19th position. Raymond Rittenauer and Greg McClendon 21st and 22nd. Brian Pager, first driver, 1 lap down. After tonight's race or tomorrow, be sure to check out padd.org. Great information out there. Pad doing a Harley raffle. Skate to eliminate distracted driving. We have links up there to the dmv.org. Teen Safe Driving Programs, Teen Driving Solutions School. A lot of media out there at pad.org. Ongoing campaigns, and of course a link to donate or for you to buy wristbands, stickers, magnets, and more. pad.org. Education, awareness, and support. Going to get a chance to get in one of my favorite drivers to talk to. A great looking truck out there belonging to Everett Lane. How about it, Everett? Have you got a copy?
Oh, sure do, Scott. How you making out tonight, buddy?
Doing good, doing very good, sir. And you guys aren't doing too bad. 3 cautions, past the halfway mark. Talk to me about the number 24, people who get distracted driving. You're looking very sharp out there.
Well, thank you, Scott. You know, we got the pink Chevrolet out here tonight for Nikki and the family, for Pad. You know, we all know what distracted driving causes. You know, we got to do something to keep all these children and young drivers from having their phone in their hand when they're driving, because, you know, it's a very dangerous thing. And like I told you before, there's a thing for the phones. When you order a phone for your child, you can tell the supplier to the phone, whether it's Verizon, Sprint, or whatever, and you can tell them to pretty much put a lock on the phone for anything over 5 miles an hour. So the parents need to check that out.
But you know, Everett, it's not just the parents, the parents with the kids. Sometimes it's grandma and grandpa, right?
Yeah, you're right there, Scott. It is grandma and grandpa. Sometimes you got to watch those Q-tips. You know, they're out there doing about 50 miles an hour in the fast lane. You should always be aware out there when you're driving. You know, it's very dangerous out there. We need to take aware of everybody who's distracted.
All righty. Good luck to you tonight, Everett Lane. Appreciate the support.
Hey, thank you, Scott.
Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Over the halfway point, 3 cautions. Go on and talk to me, race fans, about who you think is going to win tonight's race. Now, the last race for Pad we had, Lee Ryerson was our race winner that night. Lee Ryerson a little bit further back in the pack. Lee Ryerson in position 9. Plenty of time to get her done, and still a huge field out here tonight. Nowhere near go time, 42 laps to go. One more round of pit stops. Drivers are getting 30 to 32 laps per tank. They can make it on one more pit stop, going in on about 70. They've got enough fuel to make it to about 75. So only one more pit stop needed, but we have got to see some green flag pit stops out here tonight. Becky Whitmer rooting on. Gary Whitmer Jr. right now in 13th position. Mama Patty and Kristen rooting on Mark Jackson, sitting up in position 2. Top 6 trying to make a runaway as the rest of the field does go single file. Actually, top 7, 1 through 7 double file, but 8 through 25th stay in single file. 21 lead changes out here tonight. Mark Jackson leading 15 laps. Everett Lane leading 5. Nathan Karn leading 9. That single file action has caught those top 7. Len McNeese, 1.6 seconds back, sitting in 16th position. Ronald Klein working with Greg McClendon and Gary Whitmer Jr. Gary Whitmer Jr., 1.3 back. John Henderson, a newcomer to KMA Racing, doing a great job out here tonight in the number 17. Jerry Johnson showing his support for Pad in the Angels Never Die. Lee Ryerson in the number 20, last month's winner in the race for Pad 266. Nathan Karn has caught that pack. Nathan Karn might be wanting to do something with it. Nathan Karn moving along on that outside lane. Donald Stewart down on that inside lane. Fourth truck on the inside. Mark Jackson up there in front. Got a good race going on there between Mark Nelson, Travis Browder, Kevin Scott Nelson all over the rear end of Mark Jackson. Outside lane being led by Travis Browder, falling apart as Colin Bauer comes up in front of Travis Browder to take charge of that middle lane. Becky Whitmer talking about how Gary Whitmer needs a rabbit's foot. Gary Whitmer in a very good position right now, in position 13. I would think out of the danger zone. Drivers have dropped to two distinct packs, but that second pack gaining very steadily on the front pack, being led by John Henderson. Greg McClendon in the number 8, still in it to win it. Side by side with Gary Whitmer, Ronald Klein, and Len McNeese in tow. And once again, we are one huge pack. 16 drivers up in that front pack. And they will be approaching lap traffic here on lap 63 of 100. See how they handle this lap traffic. Lap traffic staying high. Good job, drivers. Very good job. Very aware. No distractions going on right there. Mark Jackson up to 17 laps being led right now. Get a lot of help there from Kevin Scott Nelson. Travis Browder currently is in 5th position. Nathan Karn slowly working his way back up. Donald Stewart putting those purple rims a little bit down onto that yellow line. Not the place you want to be on that yellow line. Certainly not at 195 miles per hour. Colin Bauer making his way to the front of the pack. Big shot out there to the Seminoles. Colin Bauer with a big move down in front of Mark Jackson. .37 with a move. Number 37 in the Angels Never Die. Trying to get up to the rear end of Donald Stewart. Gary Whitmer side by side with number 71 of Dean Viney. Dean Viney going up, getting a little bit wiggly. Gary Whitmer, hopefully he's got that proverbial rabbit's foot as Lee Ryerson goes ripping by. Tight quarters one more time as Dean Viney ups into the front of GW. Hey, want to give a big shout out there to GW Graphics, putting out those great pad commercials and our sponsor commercials that we were seeing underneath that break. Gary Whitmore informing me that he is in the process of giving new commercials coming out very soon. So a big shout out there to Gary Whitmer. Also the sponsor of our Monday Night Mania series, Xfinity Class, opening up week 8, Monday at Vegas. We'll be running Vegas all week on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Should be some good racing. Came off a great week 7 at Charlotte. Mark Jackson having a great race out here tonight with Travis Browder. Travis Browder leading his first lap of the night. Mark Jackson pushing him to hit that lap. Everett Lane on that outside lane. Kevin Scott Nelson still doing very strong in 4th position. Sean W. Brown in the number 65 trying to get Everett around Mark Jackson and Travis Browder. Len McNeese hanging on like a tick on the back of a coon dog on a windy day. Last driver in this big field of this front pack, hanging on to the rear end of the number 76. "13 drivers out on this front pack. Front 4 racing like it's go time now. The green Chevy Silverado of John Henderson on the verge of losing draft. Nathan Karn 5.5 seconds back, working with Colin Bauer. But just recently Colin Bauer was up there on that front line. Not sure what happened with Colin Bauer. Obviously got himself into a little bit of trouble. Number 7, Brian, first driver 1 lap down. But here comes Jack Watts and company. Jack Watts, Nick Reynolds, Mitchell Reeves, Dustin Lee, and the number 4 of Andrew Williams. These 5 drivers, they're going to stay together. These are the Southeast Motorsports drivers, but Dustin Lee having some serious internet conditions. Dustin Lee may have to be pulled out of tonight's race if his internet connection does not heal itself. Dustin Lee having major internet connections, and there is the turn on Jack Watts. Looking at the damage being done between the number 54, Nick Reynolds, and the number 77 of Jack Watts. Slight bumper hook on the number 54 to the number 77. Going to back it up one more time and take a look at it. This is Southeast Motorsports in trouble. One more time out here tonight. Jack Watts going for a wild ride. Mark Jackson up there on that front line, side by side with Everett Lane. 4th caution of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Now this is the fuel window, folks. This is very important right here. Pitting now, and they can make it home. So I would fully expect every driver to head into pit row. Everett Lane out there on that front line will lead this huge pack into pit row. And as I mentioned Pretty sure everybody's going to head in. Lap down drivers, they'll of course stay out, trying to get their free pass and their wave by. Brian Pager, first driver lap down in that lucky dog position. Hoping to get his lucky dog, and indeed he will get that lucky dog. Alrighty, let's see if we can find Brian up there on the KMA TV communication tab. How about it, Brian? Have you got a copy?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alrighty, good job getting your lucky dog back. Talk to us about your night.
It's been a pretty good night. I was just hanging out in the back there, and then at that one restart, I kind of had a bad start there. And I kind of lost the pack, so I've just been laying back, just trying to ride it out.
Alrighty, we are taking a look at your Chevy Silverado. Autism awareness with Joey across that visor. Talk to us about Joey.
It's my 14-year-old son.
Alrighty, I would assume that he has autism.
Yeah, very mild, called the Asperger's.
Alright, copy that. We are familiar with that. We have hosted up a few autism awareness races, and we have a few drivers that are in a situation as your son. Talk to us about the rest of your night tonight. I assume you're going to get it in the pit road, get fueled up. You'll be good to go on fuel. At what point in time is it go time for Brian?
Yeah, as soon as I go in here and top off, I'm just going to hammer it down and see where I can place.
Alrighty, good job to you tonight. Doing a great job staying out of trouble. And good luck with everything.
Thank you, sir.
Brian working his way into pit row. First driver lap down. Got that lucky dog position. Good job to Brian. Also showing his support for his son, Joey, with Asperger's. Now, as you know, folks, we've done one or two autism awareness races. Kerry Cleaver, no secret with his son having autism. Travis Browder, mildly autistic as well. Autism is something that we are all very familiar with out here. Want to make sure you leave tonight's race with a familiarity for PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Check them out at pad.org. Read a little bit about Nikki's story. Good story, a good read, a hard read, a heartbreaking read. But nonetheless, it is the kind of a read that you will walk away from and think twice about picking up that cell phone. And I do want to leave you tonight with the impression of the dangers of distracted driving. I don't really so much worry about my fans or my drivers, but it's the people out there that do not see this broadcast, do not see the pictures, do not see the hard work by Mike Clenny, Michelle McMaster Eisenhower, the paint jobs out there by John Hedrick. It's the people that don't know. Those are the people that scare the hell out of us. Everett Lane out there on that front line. Mark Jackson, Travis Browder, Donald Stewart. Pace car will go by one more time. Listening to Everett Lane shutting off that engine. Now we're going to be real quiet here for a minute. He's saving fuel. Listen. Hearing him kick that engine on and off. We're back on. It'll actually save you a gallon or two for sure. Everett Lane possibly going to be a little bit tight on fuel side by side with Mark Jackson. Everett Lane, Mark Jackson, Travis Browder. Donald Stewart, Sean Brown, Kevin Scott Nelson, Dean Viney, J.R. Johnson, Len McNeese, and Greg McClendon. Our top 10. Gary Whitmer doing very well in 12th position. Jack Watts, Joel Guy possibly having to take it to the hauler tonight. Very impressed with Mark Jackson and Travis and Everett. Positions 1, 2, and 3. Now what they need to do at this point in time, I talk to my drivers about racing. I tell them, don't race against me. Race with me. So what these top 4 drivers, Everett, Mark, Travis, and Donald, need to do right now, they need to work with one another. Gary Whitmer Sr. picking 78. Donald Stewart for the win. And I tell you what, Gary's been on a roll this week. He's already picked one winner. He fell one short, I do believe, last night. But still, his driver he picked placed up there on the podium. Gary Whitmer Sr. opting for the number 78. I know that Mark Jackson is being rooted on by Mama Patty, Kristen Phillips, and John Hedrick. Gary Whitmer Jr. being rooted on by Mom Whitmer. And Dad Whitmer rooting on Donald Stewart. I might have to go with Donald Stewart myself. Travis very strong, but again, like we were talking last night, up there in position 1 and 2, not really where you want to be to, because you ended up being a sitting duck. Drivers have to look at their lanes. Right now, Mark Jackson in a very good position on that outside lane. Get a big boost from the number 78. Drivers looking very sharp out here tonight. 75 of 100 in the books. Len McNeese still in position 8, side by side with Kevin Scott Nelson, the 224. Mom Whitmer talking about how GW could bring home number 12, and I would still be proud of, still be a proud mom. And I tell you what, Gary Whitmer is we've gotten to be very good friends. Huge supporter of Pad, huge supporter of KMA and KMA TV, huge supporter of Over the Top Paints and Designs. An all-around great guy, great video skills, great father, great son. I think a lot of Gary Whitmer Jr. Think a lot of Mom and Dad Whitmer as well. Drivers doing a great job out here tonight. Oftentimes these speedways turn into disasters and wreck fest, but tonight the boys have brought out their best. Michelle McMaster Eisenhower talking about how moms rule. Absolutely correct. Gap on that inside lane behind Sean Brown. Drivers got a lot of room to get a lot tighter, but realizing with 22 to go, it's not yet time to really go. All of these drivers now good on fuel. Everett Lane will be using the most fuel out here tonight, but even so, with he cutting his engine off like he did, he will guarantee himself plenty of fuel. Everett Lane, Mark Jackson side by side with 21 to go. Travis Browder still being a contender. Sean Brown possibly could be a sleeper out here tonight. Caution is out. Taking a look at contact between the number 87, Raymond Rittenauer. Raymond Rittenauer appears to have drove up onto the number 17, taking a slight right turn into the pathway of the number 17. Raymond Rittenauer bringing out our 5th caution of the night. We're going to back it up, look at it one more time, though. Raymond Rittenauer side by side with the number 17. Almost like a right-hand turn up into the number 17 of John Henderson, sending John Henderson for a ride. Nonetheless, Raymond Rittenauer bringing out caution number 5. Everett Lane, Mark Jackson, Travis Browder in good spots tonight. John Hedrick out there on the KMA TV chat bringing up a valid point. Drivers taking time to support a good cause makes them all winners, and absolutely right. All the drivers out here tonight, winners, coming out to support people against distracted driving. One of those drivers decked out wearing his Sunday best is Greg McClendon. Greg McClendon putting on his one wreck could wreck it all, or one text could wreck it all. How about it, Greg? Have you got a copy?
Hey, how's it going tonight, Scott?
Doing very good. Now, usually we're talking about that great Blaze Pizza, but tonight I want to talk to you about the paint job on your truck. You're looking very good out there in the pad truck. Talk to us all about it.
Brother, this monthly race that we have here is called Parents Against Distracted Driving, and the title speaks for itself. If you are silly enough to text while you're driving or using any mobile device while you are operating a motor vehicle, you're just as guilty as a drunk driver or a stone driver or what have you. Please don't do it, folks. It's just one of the most worst things that you can be involved with. There are a lot of families that are still hurting to this day as a result of that. So let's please exercise our best judgment. It can wait, guys. I always have my text, and so hey, I will never answer my phone until after I get home. Hey, it's not worth it, guys. I've seen lives taken, and this is what this is all about tonight, guys. Parents Against Distracted Driving. Guys, please leave the text alone till you get home. Leave Facebook, leave Instagram alone, leave Snapchat alone, leave all that alone, because you guys' lives are too important for that.
Alrighty, great words. There's nothing I can add to that other than a big shout out there to Gearhead Paint Shop. I saw the Gearhead logo on the side of the number 8. So a big shout out there to Ted Immenheiser and Gearhead Paint Shop, showing his support for people against distracted driving with a great paint job.
This is great, Scott, and I really love the monthly race that we, always bring awareness to this very, very important cause here, because it's happening a lot more frequently than we would like to see it. We would like for it to end permanently, but that can only end by us getting the word out there. We know a lot of people who do it. Let's just try to encourage them to, tell their friends and stuff like that. It's not worth your lives or anyone else's lives to be engaging in things that you should be divulging to your car and your motor vehicle operation.
Alrighty, good information. Alright, now let's talk about this 18 to go. 5 cautions where we're getting up there a little bit on those cautions. Don't want to see no more. 1, do you think we're done with the cautions? 2, how do you think the next 18 laps are going to go?
Well, Scott, it can go one of two ways. If the guys are not greedy, we can ride around until the end of it. But current history tells me right at this point that I'm hoping people will be patient enough. There's going to be some guys that's going to be racing like gangbusters through, maybe taking it 3 wide. That may bring out another caution, but it'd be really, really nice for our group tonight for us to go green from here, to be able to show them that we have some discipline and be able to put a good show on for the folks out there in YouTube land and KMA TV.
Alrighty, I thank you for your time. And a big shout out there to Blaze Pizza.
Hey guys, Blaze Pizza is home of big friendly smiles, lively fun interactions. We always say yes. Zoom go really fast and we exceed expectations, guys. If you haven't seen us yet, come and check us out near you. Check us out at blazepizza.com. Put in your zip code and find the nearest Blaze near you.
Alright, good stuff. Good luck.
Scott.
Greg McClendon, our Friday night sponsor. Check us out on Friday. Check out Blaze Pizza. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Hopefully this will be our last caution of the night. Everett Lane, Travis Browder, Mark Jackson, Sean Brown, Donald Stewart. Rounding out our top 5. Big shout out there to the fans rooting on Mark Jackson, Gary Whitmer, Donald Stewart. Rooting on all these drivers to go caution-free for the remaining 17 laps of the monthly race for PAD 266. Stay tuned afterwards. We'll get some pictures up there on the Facebook site. Also want to give a big shout out there to one fan, Michelle McMaster Eisenhower, very closely working with the people from PAD, with Mike Lenny, as a grief counselor. All of us have grieved at one point in time or another over something, and I tell you what, there's nothing worse than having to grieve over the death of a loved one. Michelle has done a awesome job out there using her experiences that she has had throughout her life to help others deal with the suffering and the pain caused by distracted driving. And it could all be put to a stop, ladies and gentlemen, if distracted driving did not exist. Do your part. Teach. Educate. Bitch at him when you see him doing it. Shake him up. Scare him. It's got to stop, ladies and gentlemen. And away we go. Everett Lane, Mark Jackson side by side. Travis Browder all over the rear end of the number 2-4 of Everett Lane. Putting a gap early on that inside between the 51 and the 65. 84, 71, 78, number 3 lining up on that outside lane. Mark Jackson going to get a big run here, courtesy of the number 78. 16 laps to go, 84 in the books. Huge field out here tonight, coming out tonight to show their support for PAD. Now you would think that Everett Lane is in the best position in the house, but again, you don't necessarily want to be up on that front line, except on that final lap. And even on that final lap, it's very risky. These speedways, the most dangerous lap there is that last lap. And look at Nathan Karn in the number 26 in 5th position, moving his way forward. Gary Whitmer back in 17th position. Still with that lead pack, though. Michelle McMaster Eisenhower giving us some cold, hard facts. More than 50 people will fall prey today due to distracted driving. It's a lot of people, and again, it could just be stopped by putting phones down. The temptation is there, but a way to break that temptation, something I've started doing. I have a holster I carry my phone in with me when I work. And I started putting it in the trunk of my car with my supplies. I could actually hear my phone ring, but it's back there in the trunk of my car. Mitchell Reeves, in the rear of the field, a little bit of three-wide action there going on with the number 54 of Nick Reynolds. Put the phone where you cannot reach it. And that's the easiest way to avoid it, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't reach it, you can't answer it. Throw it into the back seat. Three-wide action with Ronald Klein, Colin Bauer, Mitch Reeves, Nick Reynolds, Lee Ryerson in a three-wide, Monkey in the middle. 13 to go. Almost four-wide right there. They're going to be getting antsy. They're going to be wanting to dance here, ladies and gentlemen. Mitchell Reeves, Kevin Scott Nelson, number 7 of Brian Pager. Len McNeese and the little old Smokey doing a great job pushing on the rear end. The number 71, we're three wide. Mark Jackson, the Monkey in the middle, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, caution will fly. We were in a three-wide situation with Donald Stewart, but I do believe that is the number 71 of Dean Viney. So we're going to jump up here to the 71 of Dean Viney in the brown truck behind Donald Stewart. That's what set this forward into motion. Watching the 71 Hershey, he will tap the wall, which jacked up the 84 of Len McNeese. And nowhere for Mitchell Reeves in the 02 and Nick Reynolds to go, except into the rear end of the 84. Backing it up one more time. Going to look and see how Mitchell Reeves and came out of that. Mitchell Reeves spinning sideways into Lee Ryerson. Contact up front. I think Gary Whitmer may have gotten a piece of that action. Gary Whitmer getting tagged in the rear end. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Greg told us that he was not sure that it would be caution-free to the end. Gary Whitmer in pit road, getting his backup truck. He has got a backup truck, so Gary Whitmer still in good shape. Lap 89 of 100, 11 to go. Going to take a quick look at our race summary. 6 cautions totaling out 22 laps out here tonight. 33 lead changes, 89 down, 11 to go. Everett Lane, Travis Browder in a good spot. Sean Brown up to 3rd. Nathan Karn, Donald Stewart sitting up there in a very strong position. J.R. Johnson looking very sharp tonight, doing a great job. Len McNeese into pit row, trying to get himself repaired and picked back up. Gonna get a race interview in with my good friend Gary and have him talk to us about that shiny new Chevy Silverado. Gary Whitmer doing a very fine job out here tonight driving a new truck. How about it, Gary? Have you got a copy?
I got you, Scott. How you doing?
Doing very good. Now, we know that you got caught up into that one there, but pretty sure you had a backup vehicle.
Yep, saved it to the last. End of the race.
That's a smart man. All right, we've been up here in the KMA TV chat box talking about how proud we all are of Gary Whitmer. And right now, you must be beaming ear to ear with a shiny new paint job. Talk to me about this new pad-endorsed paint job.
Yeah, well, you know, Scott, I like to run different schemes all the time, and I thought it was time for a new pad truck scheme. And got with John Hendrick at Over the Top Paints and Designs, and this is what he threw out of the shop.
Looking very sharp. Now, we were also talking about the walk with Pad, and I might have had my date screwed up. I think it was April 15th. But it was recently this year where you actually met Mike Kalini. Talk to us about that very special occasion.
Yeah, it's a special event that they do every year. This year was the 5th anniversary of Walk with Pad. To get together, tell about the story, donations, to do the walk in memory of Nike Kalini, and I got to meet Michael Kalini and a great bunch of people there.
All righty. Talk to us about some of the ways that we can do in our own community to prevent the dangers of distracted driving.
The distracted driving is not only texting and driving behind the wheel, it's also reaching for something on the floor, radio controls, lighting up a cigarette, and just not paying attention to what's in front of you. Situation awareness.
All right, situational awareness indeed. All right, we've got Mom Whitmer out there, very proud of you. How do you think the rest of the night's going to go? Greg McClendon predicted one more caution. Are you predicting one more?
I don't want to see no more. I wanted it to go green all night because I was pretty good at running up front and I felt pretty good about it, but we'll see.
All righty, good luck to you, and we appreciate the support for the Nikki Kalini Foundation, Over the Top Paints and Designs, as well as KMA TV and GW Graphics. Good job, Gary Whitmer.
Yep, thanks, Scott.
I always like to talk to Gary Whitmer Jr., very safe, very conscientious driver. One of my favorite drivers out there to talk to. A little bit of a rougher night out here than what we hope for any of the pad races to go to, but it is super speedway action. Seeing a little bit of a bumper hook situation, but I think overall drivers doing a great job. A few drivers out here tonight actually having more problems than what they should have. Going to take a quick look at that running order. By the time we get back to Green Flag Racing, we should be looking at a 7-lap shootout, if my mathematics is correct. Taking a look at it. Everett Lane, Travis Browder, Sean Brown, Nathan Karn, Donald Stewart, Mark Jackson in 6th position, Kevin Scott Nelson, J.R. Johnson, Brian Pager, and Ronald Klein up to 10th. Greg McClendon, Wesley Whitfield, John Henderson, Lee Ryerson, Lynn McNeese in 15th. Gary Whitmer Jr., last driver on that lead lap. Dean Viney, first driver, 1 lap down, position 17. Still plenty of drivers out here tonight to put on a good show. 92 of 100 in the books. 8 to go. Get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Going to stay in-car camera with Gary Whitmer Jr. Hopefully to see Gary Whitmer Jr. bring home the number 5 to victory lane tonight. Right now in 16th position, got a ways to go, but plenty of time to get there. 7-lap shootout once we go back to green. Stay tuned after the race for post-race interviews. One lucky driver will be out there burning up this track here in a roughly 7 to 10 minutes. Hoping to go caution-free. Lynn McNeese in the old Smoky. Big damage on the rear end of the white Chevy Silverado. Back to Green Flag Racing. Gary Whitmer working up those gears. 152 in the apex of 1 and 2. Hard on that throttle. Up to the outer lane, knowing the number 84 was going to slow him down. Gary Whitmer making a charge to the front with 7 to go. Coming around the number 17 of John Henderson. John Henderson having a little bit of left side damage. Gary Whitmer trying to get onto the draft of, I do believe that is Wesley Whitfield. Wesley Whitfield and Lee Ryerson Jr. running side by side. Gary not able to quite come down, but he's got a run on the number 74. Gary Whitmer progressing 2 spots in 2 laps. Jumping up front with our leaders. Traffic's a little bit busier up here in front. Travis Browder out there on that front line. Mark Jackson in 5th. Travis Browder, Everett Lane on the inside. Nathan Karn on the outside. Mark Jackson on the outside. Mark Jackson still in a good position. Sean Brown, possibly a sleeper tonight. Let's not forget about the number 65. Lap 95 of 100, 5 to go. Travis Browder, I can hear his heart a-thumping. Nothing but clean air out there in front for Travis Browder. Mark Jackson trying to get around Travis. But Travis Browder, nothing but blue skies and gray pavement. Nathan Karn on that outside, challenging the number 51 with 4 to go. That would be really awesome for Nathan Karn after a 2-year absence to come in and win it. Everett Lane dumping Travis Browder onto that inside lane, jumps up, grabs that outside lead lane, being pushed on by Nathan Karn. Both drivers down, Everett and Nathan coming down 1-2 lickety-split, opening up that door for Mark Jackson in that middle lane. But Donald Stewart has got to get up there onto Mark. Travis Browder up in front of Mark Jackson. Travis Browder up, Everett Lane up, 3 wide with 4 to go. 3 wide, Travis Browder up onto that high lane. Everett Lane in the middle, Donald Stewart all over the rear end of the number 51, 3 wide, 51, 24, and 26. 26, Pepsi on that inside lane. Number 8, splitting that middle. Number 8 of Greg McClendon, tighter than a hair in a biscuit right there. Following the number 3, 3 wide action, 3 to go in the monthly Race 4 pad, 266. Contact, and that'll do her, ladies and gentlemen. Going to back that up, take a look at what exactly happened. Looking at Donald Stewart and Travis Browder up onto that third lane. Little bit of net code right there between the number 8, Greg McClendon. All right, folks, look at the number 8 in the middle and the number 78. No contact. Absolutely no contact. A little bit of a net code right there, but sending the number 78 of Donald Stewart back into that pack. That will be Donald Stewart's night. Unfortunately, also the night for the number 7. Tough break, therefore. Net code causing us a problem with 2 to go. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that will seal the deal out here tonight. With 2 to go, I do believe that's going to wrap up tonight's race. We're going to give him one lap while we finish up talking about pad. Then we're going to get these drivers, but tentatively, we're looking at Mark Jackson, Nathan Karn, and Everett Lane. Underneath our 7th caution of the night. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Final thoughts about PAD, People Against Distracted Driving. Check them out, padd.org. Check them out. Save a life. Preach to your friends. There can never be enough education about people against distracted driving. Lap 99 of 100. Mark Jackson, Nathan Karn, Everett Lane. How about it, Mark Jackson? Have you got a copy, sir?
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Mark. Hi again. How are you?
Man, what a race.
Well, do tell. Is it over?
We are under caution, white flag lap. About to come in and turn 3 and 4 here.
Alrighty, so
Man.
So that is indeed it.
Yep, we're done.
Alrighty, you talk to me right now about anything you want to talk to me. We've got Mama Patty out there. We've got your fiance Kristen out there. Go on and take a half a lap here and tell us all about whatever it is you want to talk to us about.
Wow. First of all, I want to say hello to my mom and my family. Everybody here, they're up in the stands watching. Mama Patty, Kristen, my son Mark Jr., my granddaughter Angel Rain Jackson, and special thanks to my sponsor, iRacing Paints and Designs, John Hedrick, Over the Top Loose Lug Nuts Paints. Talladega, wow. PAD racing for a good cause here tonight. John put me together a special paint job. We got Nikki on the car tonight, or on the truck. Just want to remind everybody, put the cell phone down. Stay alive, don't text and drive.
Alrighty, good words there from Mark Jackson. Congratulations on your position 3 tonight. Kicking butt for PAD. Good job, brother.
Thank you, Scotty.
On to Nathan Karn, doing a good job out here tonight, pulling home position 2, which is really cool, especially cool because Nathan has been gone out of iRacing for 2 years. On his first night back, comes back and takes position 2 in the monthly race for PAD. How you feeling, Nate?
Pretty good. Can't complain. I guess I'm not too rusty.
Not too rusty at all. Bet you're going to go sit down and have a nice big glass of Pepsi Cola. Right now, give us some thoughts about the last 10 laps. We hate to see it end under caution, but you were slowly and steadily working your way up through that field. Talk to me all about it.
Yeah, just kind of picked my way through. I didn't really have a partner, so just kind of taking spots where I could. But it was pretty intense, 2 and 3 wide, and then unfortunately they wrecked behind us.
Alrighty, any final thoughts out there tonight?
Definitely a good group of drivers. It was a fun race. Glad to finish high and had a lot of fun.
Alrighty, and we're glad to have you back, buddy.
Thanks, Scott.
But the man of the hour is indeed Everett Lane. What do you think, Everett?
Hey, Scotty, we finally got one.
We finally did, and you got a very special one, and you're looking very sharp out there. We hate to see it end under caution, but go on and talk to us.
Hey, it was a good night tonight for the 24 pink PAD truck tonight. I've been trying to win with this truck ever since I put it together. Finally got it to Victory Circle. I want to dedicate this race to Nikki's family and her. We're going to put this truck in retirement. I've been working on a new paint scheme for the PAD truck, so we finally got a win with it when it's last race.
Alrighty, doing a great job. Anybody out there on the KMA TV chat you want to give a shout out to?
Hey, Scott, I want to give a shout out to KMA for everything they do. I mean, you guys put on a great show over here. I'd like to see a little bit more super speedways. I'm a big super speedway guy, and I know you guys have dropped off of them a little bit, but I love running over here on the super speedway with KMA.
Alrighty, all right, get out there and give us a smoke show. Congratulations on winning the monthly Race 4 pad.
Hey, thank you, Scott.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap it up here at KMA TV, and we're going to get you these race results out here as we watch Everett smoke up that house. Big shout out there to the fans on the KMA TV chat. Big shout out to all the drivers out here tonight that came out to show their support for people against distracted driving. All right, ladies and gentlemen, race results on their way. Check us out on Monday as we open up at Las Vegas. I am Scott Golovic. This is KMA TV. We'll catch you out there on Monday.